They're calling this a fight. But make no mistake, this is a survival test. On May 2nd, two British warriors walk in with one goal, and only one guarantee: somebody is getting hurt. No feeling out process, no safety zone, no easy rounds.
I'm asking about Sam Eggington.
You just said the egg's getting it next.
That's come on.
You got egg on your face, mate.
So yeah, Eggington.
You're going to crack me. Joke's on you.
Stop me.
Hey!
Just Conah Walker, a relentless pressure fighter who drags opponents into deep water. Against Sam Eggington, a veteran who has already lived through wars that ended careers.
With Conah Walker, it's a bit special for me because Conah's been speaking to me for a while and he wanted me to work with him, but the time, in my opinion, I was just sort of busy doing my thing. Listen, he come off a loss against Lewis Crocker. And all I wanted to do, I'll be honest with you, with Conah Walker, was just make him as much money as possible. Because of the way he fights and how he's such a good kid. But Conah Walker's actually a brilliant fighter. He really is a brilliant fighter. And he's such value for money. But I wanted to make him the most amount of money possible. And I'm delivering on that. But he delivers in the ring, big style. And the fight against Liam Taylor on Saturday will be a crack.
And the question isn't about skill. It's not about technique. It's about what happens when the pace gets too high and the punishment starts stacking up. Because when these two meet in the center of the ring, you don't get a boxing match, you get a breakdown. And by the final bell, we're not asking who won. We're asking who actually made it out the same way they came in.
I'm a winner, do you know what I mean? But as I've sort of developed over the years, I just look at, so the losses that I've had, all you can do is go back and learn from them and just analyse them and see where you've gone wrong. And I have done. Every loss I've done, I've come back and I've won, and I've done, you know what I mean, I've showed people that I'm meant to be here, do you know what I mean? I was always aware that I was going to take a loss because of the style of my fighting.
Conah Walker versus Sam Eggington. This is not a world title fight. These are the kinds of fights that steal the show. No politics, no protection, just two men who know one thing. If you don't impose yourself, you get taken out.
He's a beast, isn't he? He's all action. He's similar to me. He goes on a journey in a fight. It's a war every time he fights, so people want to see that. People want to see blood and guts and putting it all on the line, so that's why this fight sells. We can have a scuffle. We know we can have a scuffle, but I just believe I'm better than him. Do I think I can knock Sam Eggington out? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Conah Walker is not a flashy, Instagram-style boxer. He's a grinder. A pressure fighter who wins fights by walking opponents down, throwing volume, breaking rhythm, not outboxing it. He doesn't want space. He doesn't want distance. He wants you uncomfortable. And that makes him dangerous against anyone who slows down late.
Brow as well, so you'd think it's a head clash, but enough of that, starting to unload on each other here, and this is turning into a little bit of a barn burner. Imploring Antwi to throw that jab, and that was a good right hand from Walker. Antwi, the legs just stiffened ever so slightly. Angry about the bookmakers' odds, and so far, you have to say, it's living up to billing. He's
really willing himself on here, you know,
and walk him onto one, just like that right hand there.
Yeah, walk him on. That right hand again there. Good, force the pace, and yeah, he's going to get caught on the way in a little bit.
But here's the truth. Walker has one main issue. Where he can impose pressure early, he can look basic. He's not the slickest boxer. He's not the fastest. But he is consistent. And consistency in boxing pressure fights is deadly. Because if this turns into a war of attrition, Walker believes he wins.
Walker, referee Reece Carter too much. Off into the black canvas here.
And again, good right hand there. Good,
lovely left hook from Antwi. But has it deterred Conah Walker? Of course not.
Walker trying to get room there, trying to change the angle and switch. A good body shot.
Hook again from Antwi.
Walker comes firing back, Antwi's letting go, toe-to-toe here.
It is ignited in centre ring.
I mean, this could be a heartbreaking exchange here.
And the determination of Conah Walker has not been dented so far, but are we seeing the first few bricks to fall?
Yeah, this is the type of... Antwi, 1-2. Yeah, and Walker's the guy who backs up here.
Good right hand to the body, and he sagged Walker, but he is still throwing his shots.
Either fatigued, really biting down.
And he does hold for the first time. Conah Walker does try to hold, and you can't blame him. He's on the end of a little bit of a torrid period here. The left hooks from Antwi.
Sam Eggington is one of those fighters who has been through everything. Wars, knockdowns, comeback wins, and brutal 12-round fights. He is not a safe boxer. He is a violent boxer. Eggington's style is built on mid-range trading, sharp counters, and breaking opponents who come forward recklessly. And here's what makes him dangerous. He actually enjoys chaos.
So it'll be interesting to see how he performs here tonight.
And Tasha, everybody saying he looks so much better at this weight, the super welterweight limit. He was happy yesterday around the weigh-in, and a happy fight is a dangerous one.
It is. I think people don't understand the weight that you put on, and it means you don't have to get it off, and you only realise that when you go up a weight, how important not draining yourself is.
Already mixing up body and head shots. Eggington, he's got an underrated jab. What of this Przemysław Ziski's a couple of years older at 30. 18 straight wins, 6 by knockout, but this is a big step up for him too.
Yeah, definitely. He's undefeated, but he has a boxer at the same level. He's been with the caliber of opposition that Sam Eggington has. You look at some of the fights he's had. Liam Smith, you know, Frankie Gavin, that was a great win from him in Birmingham. You know, he's been in a lot deeper than what Zisk had, so, you know, way more experience with Eggington.
Very upright, isn't he? Zisk comes with a tough reputation and a good one in Poland. Well, they've produced some really hot fighters over the years, but hot stuff here early on from Sam Eggington.
If Walker thinks pressure will break Eggington, he might be walking into the wrong kind of fight. Because Eggington doesn't fold easily. He adapts inside violence. But there's a question, how much damage is left in him? Because fighters like Eggington don't decline slowly. They decline suddenly. One bad night, and everything changes. This fight is simple on paper, but stylistically, this is dangerous for both. If Walker wins early, he overwhelms Eggington and turns the fight into survival mode. If Eggington controls early rounds, Walker gets frustrated, starts getting countered, and walks into bigger shots.
I tell you what, he's getting tired, and it's not surprising. Another couple of rounds, and Walker, I mean, he doesn't know how to go backwards, and it's a big effort. The man from Wolverhampton has trapped McCormack in his own corner, and there's a minute 10 to go, and McCormack could be pulling apart. He's out through the ropes, and Conah Walker could have done it again. I'm not sure he's going to make the count. He's desperately trying, but he's going to be knocked out here. Pat McCormack, Conah Walker has done it. Extraordinary in Monaco, the Wolf.
The key zone is round 3 to round 7. That's where fatigue starts, defense drops, mistakes multiply, and in that window, this fight becomes brutal. Not tactical, not clean, brutal.
There we go! A lovely shotgun! Get low, John! Move your feet! Good try, John! 1, 2, through the middle. Turn that right hand through the middle, John. Nice job!
Walker has youth and output. Eggington has pacing and ring IQ. Eggington has proven durability, but where matters. Who wins in phone booth exchanges decides everything. Walker must believe he can break him early. Eggington must survive early fire. This is not a stable fight. One round changes everything.
As the coaches, I don't miss a session. Yeah, like I say, I like what I do, I do. This stuff's not my thing, but the hard work and the fighting, I'll do. I do it in a room with no one there, as long as I'm paid for it. So, but yeah, this sort of stuff just gets on my nerves a bit, but it is what it is. I just enjoy my job, brother. It's that simple. I've said it to a lot of people. And people are saying, oh, Sam's been around a long time, he's had a load of fights. That's not my fault. It's not my fault I can still compete at this level. It's just how I'm built, I suppose. I just enjoy my job. It's that, like I say, if my last big fight was against the world number one, if someone had lost a split to the world number one with less fights, people would be going to sign them. It's just because I've been here so long that they ain't getting no credit for it. So, and that's my mindset. That's why I'm not retired, because I did lose against the world number one by a split decision. And like I say, if that was someone a bit younger with a bit less fights, people would be going wild about it. It's just because it's me.
If Walker imposes early pressure, he can break Eggington late. But if Eggington survives early storm, then experience takes over. He starts landing counters. He starts slowing Walker down. And suddenly, Walker is the one under pressure. Because veterans who survive pressure early usually take over late. But make no mistake, this is not safe for either man.
I think, life chucks challenges in front of you to see, test you as a human and just see how strong you are. And mentally, I think that, like I say, I always think that bad days don't last. Tomorrow's tomorrow, start fresh. But I just think that a loss, I've had 3 losses and a draw. I took a draw early in my career. I mean, the first loss I had in the amateurs, I cried my eyes out. Do you know what I mean? You do, don't you? I'm a winner. That's what, I'm a winner, but I'm a winner. As I've sort of developed over the years, I just look at, so the losses that I've had, all you can do is go back and learn from them and just analyse them and see where you've gone wrong. And I have done. Every loss I've done, I've come back and I've won, and I've done, I've showed people that I'm meant to be here. Do you know what I mean? And I think that I was always aware that I was going to take a loss because of this.
This is not a showcase fight. This is not a tune-up. This is one of those fights where records don't matter, hype doesn't matter, only toughness matters. Because when these two stand in the middle of the ring on May 2, someone is going to realize very quickly they're in a real fight. Walker versus Eggington. Pressure versus experience. Youth versus war miles. And on May 2nd, we find out which one breaks first. Stay tuned to the channel for more updates.